Let's do 8:30 and 9:15, correct. Awesome. Okay. You have, is this off? Good. Undivided.
Alright. Imagine yourself 20 years from now walking down the street. Everywhere you turn, you are surrounded by 15-foot stinking mounds of garbage. You try to turn and get the horrible vision out of your head, but there is nowhere to escape. You are trapped. Although this sounds more like a science fiction film than truth, this brutal vision could become reality if things do not change, and this is where recycling comes into the picture. While most of us would say that we're big-time recyclers, there is always that time where you accidentally throw in that empty bottle of soda into the wrong bin, or the time where a recycling bin was just too far away and it was an inconvenience. So you decided to just mix your plastics in with the trash. While this may seem insignificant at the time, multiply that by the entire population of the United States, and that's a lot of unrecycled material. I have always been into doing good for the environment and treating Earth right, which is why I chose to research and find out more about the effects of recycling on our planet. I also, like most people, have not always been the most consistent recycler, but after much research about this topic, I've become to a realization that recycling is extremely important into the modern world. Today, I'm encouraging each and every one of you to become an active recycler. First, I will explain the negative impacts of not recycling and what it does to the environment. Second, I will explain the things you can do to become a more active recycler. And finally, I will show you the benefits that can come out of the improvement of recycling. We'll begin by looking at the need for improved recycling and by explaining the negative impacts of not recycling. The need to recycling hasn't ever been so prevalent as it is today. One of the main reasons recycling is so prevalent is due to the amount of landfills in the United States. Once a week in the United States, garbage will come and pick up our receptacles on the side of the road. One being the garbage and the other being recyclables. The trash is then taken to a landfill, usually outside of the city limits where it is dumped. Although this is a convenience for us, since the trash is out of our sight and not a nuisance to us, the space for landfills is not infinite. According to the article, Why Everyone Should Recycle, we're fast running out of space for landfills, especially near cities. Seaside cities have been dumping their trash into oceans for decades to circumvent this problem. This is a major problem. We may soon run out of enough land to keep on creating landfills, and the less land we have, and less usable land we're going to have to live on. With the amount of landfills steadily on the rise and the limited amount of earth being used, landfills are also causing other problems. Over time, landfills are slowly emitting a mixture of toxic gases that are dangerous to the environment, as well as us. According to Mike Ewald of EnergyJustice.net, landfill gas is about 40 to 60% methane, with the remainder being mostly carbon dioxide. Landfill gas also contains a varying amounts of nitrogen, oxygen, water vapor, sulfur, and hundreds of other contaminants. This release of toxic contaminants has also been known to cause cancer and other health-related problems in small communities. These deadly toxins have also been linked to much of the global warming issues going on today and the hole in the ozone layer. If the fact that landfills are slowly starting to consume us won't change your mind about recycling, then maybe the fact that we are slowly running out of natural resources will. With technology and manufacturing rapidly growing, the use of natural resources have never been so high. And we, as Americans, take the brunt of the blame by consuming the most of everything. According to the article in CNN titled World's Wealthiest 16% Uses 80% of Natural Resources, America uses 80% of the world's natural resources, while remaining only 16% of the world's population. From my surveys, I can see that all of you clearly generally agree that by not recycling, we are endangering the environment and wasting resources. Americans disposed of 83 million tons of paper products in 2003. According to EPA, by recycling nearly half of that, we could save 705 million trees and 290 billion gallons of fresh water. The EPA also states that 4% of U.S. annual oil consumption, or roughly 290 million barrels of oil, goes into the manufacture of plastic. By recycling more, we can reduce the amount of oil consumption in the U.S. because then we will not have to remake so much plastic materials. According to the article, How Much Do Americans Throw Away?, there is enough recyclable material to circle the earth 4 times. Oil is not a renewable resource, so when it is gone, it is gone. And with so much of our everyday lives revolving around oil, things would take a turn for the worse when it all runs out. With all the negatives that I previously listed, you may be asking yourself, how can I make a difference? Well, you can, and that is by recycling on a daily basis. The best part about recycling is that everybody can do it, and there is a great satisfaction that comes out of it. In order to become a more effective recycler, you must start at your place of residency, because that is where the majority of your time is spent. In my class survey, I discovered that all of you have a means of recycling at your place of residency. So this means that all of you have the capability of recycling at your own homes. If you are currently living in the dorms here at UW-Madison, then there is a recycling receptacle available in every room. If the item is plastic, such as a milk jug or juice bottle, or if it's cardboard, just simply throw it in the recycling bin. By doing this simple task, you are doing your small part to help make Earth a better place. Not only should you be recycling at home, you should take your recycling habits to the streets as well. When on the job or just at the park for leisure, there is always a need for recycling. After you're done with the bottle of soda during your lunch break, just throw it in the recycling bin. You can also recycle at the park. There is always a recycling bin handy wherever you go. Hopefully by recycling out in public, it will create a domino effect because other people will be seeing the recycling process in action. Doing the world a favor and take the initiative in recycling, and other people will follow. If each and every one of us just recycles a little more each day than we normally do, we would slowly but surely see the benefits as a whole. A key statistic to this is only about 5% of the plastic produced in the US is recycled. If we recycled the other 75% of this, we could save 1 billion gallons of oil and 44 million cubic yards of landfill space annually. According to my survey, when asked, do you agree or disagree with the following statement? When asked when your place of residency tries really hard to maintain a pro-recycling environment, the majority of you answered somewhat agree. Now, I personally believe that this mindset can be changed. If we, as a student body at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, slowly begin to change our recycling habits, I think that society would begin to notice. If they see recycling starting to become a major importance to the young people of America, then residencies and establishments would begin to take recycling more serious and start putting more of a priority on recycling their garbage. This will ultimately change how people take a look at recycling, and the new generations of recyclers would begin to take form. By recycling more often, we will ultimately reduce global warming, prevent air pollution, and save energy. According to Debo Priya Bose in the articles Why Should We Recycle?, manufacturing new aluminum goods produces 95% more carbon dioxide than recycling old aluminum objects. Bowles also states that for each ton of paper being recycled, 15 trees are saved from being felled. It is estimated that one tree absorbs almost 250 pounds of carbon dioxide per year. For every ton of paper every CA 100 student throws away, then 17 trees would be saved. So the more paper we can recycle, the more trees we can save, and ultimately the more carbon dioxide will be taken out of our environment. Recycling paper also saves about 65% more energy than making new shades of paper. By clearly looking at all this evidence, it is apparent that recycling can be greatly beneficial to our environment, and it can help us to all live healthier lives in the long run. So I came to you today to tell you about the benefits of recycling and why is there ever so present need to do so in current times. Though it may seem bleak with the scarcity of space for landfills, the toxic pollutants filling the air, or the also inevitable fact that we eventually will run out of natural resources, there is, however, a way to combat this, and that is the act of recycling. By recycling plastics and glasses on a daily basis, we can be the answer to this problem. Though it may seem like only a simple and small contribution, together we can change the way America and the world looks at recycling. All it takes is your hands, a recycling bin, and a strong will to recycle, and together we can change our planet for good. Now remember that scene that I described at the beginning of my speech? Though that future image seems bleak, it is not set in stone. We as a whole community can make a difference and make sure that this future is never ours. So when thinking about recycling, I want you to ask yourself one question. Do you want to be part of the problem, or do you want to be the solution? Thank you.